Okay, cool, never mind. Yeah, I was just thinking, I was uploading a video in the background and I never finished checking if it was actually done, but apparently it's finished uploading. So yes, we're back for more Wizard101. Of course, I promise I'll be back. I have no idea how long I'm actually going to stick around though, because there's actually another stream I want to catch in like an hour and a half or so. In the meantime, what we really want is access to the level 48 spell. So we'll need to progress the main story a little bit farther so we can access to the basilica, not the basilica, to the damn, what's it called? The Crucible. The Crucible, that's its name. So yeah, if we can do that, then we get power nova. So let's really get that, because I ended the stream before I actually could.
Excellent work. You've gained access to the next ring. Events are proceeding as planned.
You know, I really like this scene. Or Dragonspire as a whole, a lot, also because of the way you interact with Cyrus in it. People sometimes ask if Wizard101 were to be made like a movie or a storybook, what the school of the main character would be, and I've always felt like it would be myth, just because this interaction with Cyrus means a little bit more whenever you've been interacting with him the whole game. And also because he really warms up to you here, and I really like that.
I have interesting news. My brother cared deeply for his wife, Sylvia Drake, so much so that he brought her body with him to Dragonspire and entombed her within the necropolis. You must venture forth to the necropolis and find her remains. The path of the hero is not as glamorous as you thought. Take this knowledge crystal. Find her tomb and use the crystal there. It will store her spirit within. Then, you must return the crystal to me, and I will take the necessary next steps.
This is good though. I like it. It's classy. Cyrus finally showing you some respect as you continue to make great strides in adventuring through Dragonspire. That's a lot to the experience of this game, I think. And you know what, actually fuck that. We're going to do something a little bit different. We are first going to start the Spellquest, so that way we can begin it as soon as we enter the Crucible. Yeah, I'm a bit hyped up in comparison to that. Streaming gets me energetic, but so does getting access to new spells. Especially the best spell, the one I've been waiting on this whole time. Yeah, we're gonna gain access to the power of the sun itself with Power Nova, which will be a great experience.
Young wizard, your devotion to the principles of balance has been exemplary. You are now ready to learn a spell more powerful than any I have already taught. I speak of the Power Nova.
He makes it sound so cool, but before the spell got buffed massively by the spell audit, it was actually complete and total garbage.
The forces of balance must be appeased, however, with a grand sacrifice in return for this gift. Equilibrium must be enforced. You must first venture to Dragonspire, to the crystal mines deep within that flame-haunted place. You will likely find a grave threat in that place, and you must fight past it to find a single pure Harmonious Crystal. Speak to Zanetta Stormbreaker in the Crucible. She will tell you what must be done. When you have recovered a pure Harmonious Crystal, bring it to me here.
Yeah, he makes it sound like it's a bounce gift to this spiral forsaken world of sand. But it actually was complete and total trash before it got buffed like crazy. The Crucible's over here. The air is a little bit confused, though I don't think I can access it yet. I feel like we need to get a bit further in. Yeah, I think we actually need to get further in before this becomes unlocked, potentially. Nope, never mind, we can go straight in. And this is all we need access to. We just need to be able to walk in here. Oh, the arrow wasn't confused, it was just pointing at the different quest, I see. My mistake, though. I was the one who was confused. Yeah, so I actually, have a really good drink with me. Nothing alcoholic, though. That would be nice, but no, instead, my throat was killing me. And so, you know how, like, honey can help deal with the throat? Well, I figured out that you can make a sort of really nice, soothing thing for your throat if you, use some honey and mix it in with hot water, but then you can also mix it with, like, a stick of peppermint, and it sort of makes this nice little, holiday, like, drink. It's almost like tea. Almost like a peppermint tea, but very soothing. Very nice. A little bit thick, almost reaching the levels of syrup, but not quite there.
A Harmonious Crystal. I've no clue what one of those is, but if you're looking for crystals, the necropolis is where you're likely to find one. Are you sure you know what you're doing, though? The necropolis is no place for a child, even one as powerful as you are. I'd recommend trying the Hall of Glory, an old and deserted tower. Some wild crystals might be growing there. They sprout up like weeds. It might have what you're looking for, but be careful.
Yeah, in Dragonspire, crystal grows like plants for some reason. Just a weird bit of lore. I think it'll be faster to go through this way. Yeah. I feel like this is the fastest way through. Where are we going? Over here. In here? In this little house? Weird. Okay, sure, why not? Again, not really much of a tower. It looks more like a house, if anything. But whatever. I guess it doesn't change much of anything. If it's a tower or not. Okay, let's see. What should I do? Well, I don't have a weakness on me. I actually still do not know if I can do 8-10 with just one blade, although I think I need to. Well, that's embarrassing. Worst case scenario, I just need to use another sandstorm. Yeah, again, worst case scenario, I just need another sandstorm. Either way, this should work fine. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I completely forgot, because I was planning on raiding out into another Wizard101 VTuber, because I was actually browsing them, and surprisingly I saw another one. I saw two, actually, who were potentially valuable. Fortunately, we got to it too late, and I remembered as soon as streaming ended. I think you might be able to raid when you're offline, like not streaming, although I might also be a host. Because I'm pretty sure raids just send your viewers over, because the last time I did it, or the first time I did it was both the first and the last time I did it, was, what happened is, it didn't end my stream afterwards, so it turns out it just sends your current viewer list over, which is pretty neat. Okay, so potentially you could do it offline, but I just wasn't sure at the time what I should do, so I just ignored it. Yeah, so this quest being an absolutely vital one for the progression of your character, And also the first real major milestone. This is the Grandmaster level spell, even though you're not actually getting it at Grandmaster level. Grandmaster being level 50. It's so important that it actually sends you on a long goose chase throughout all of the worlds of the spiral. Basically. Although most of Mushu, I think. From what I saw. But it's cool. Nice.
You carefully remove the Harmonious Crystal from the wild crystal growth. It feels perfectly balanced in your hand and chimes with a powerful, perfect musical note.
Again, weird references between music and magic. That is kind of weird. And again, I'm not sure if there's like a real life inspiration for that, like where music is considered like magical. But fun fact, since we're playing Skyrim on Friday, we're actually going to get to hear a little bit about magic and music again. That's the main source I'd heard about it when Elder Scrolls lore. It has tonal architecture, where the entire world itself is made up of like a song, basically. And so if you can make instruments, you can basically affect the tune of it. And if you can affect the tune of it, you can rewrite reality itself. Which is another weird connection between music and magic, and like metaphysical properties. And I'm not sure if there's like a real life inspiration, like a real life belief that the world involves that sort of thing. Anyways.
You took long enough, didn't you? Ah, well, it gave me time to take a nice nap in the sun while I waited for your return. Let's see. This crystal will do nicely.
Enough talking about music and magic and wondering about that sort of stuff. We just need to focus on balance.
Now we're just getting started. The Harmonious Crystal is in its raw and purest state, and needs to be infused with the essence of a powerful creature that embodies a state of balance. In this case, I can think of no better example than the Plague Oni in Mushu. In that horrid creature is an equilibrium of life and death. It carries disease, yet does not suffer from it. Go and defeat the Plague Oni in Mushu, and bind its essence into your Harmonious Crystal.
This is pretty cool. We actually get to go back and use the Plague Oni for something again. Ah, we didn't get to leave a mark after we had already started teleporting away. That's a shame. Oh, that's cool. It automatically selects which world you want to go through next, based on your current quest, I guess. That's actually really nice. Although that's going to be really disorienting. As an old-time player where you had to manually scroll through it, that's going to trip me up more than it would actually help. Yeah, I'm not sure why they make those sorts of changes. It feels unnecessary to me. And it only saves you like 5 seconds. I got really good at navigating the menus. So having to unlearn that only makes it more painful. And I'm not sure it actually helps out new players that much. Again, it's just another one of those things where it feels like it's focusing effort into improving the wrong areas, I guess. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's up to them, I suppose. What they think will help improve the quality of the game. This is actually nice. I was mentioning this before, but this is actually going to be the first time we're going to get to see it. Unless they changed something in one of these recent updates, which is possible. Although I highly doubt it. Because this has been the way it's been for the longest time. We can just run straight through the dungeon.
Perhaps there is a key up the road that would unlock the gate.
Nope, they changed it.
Perhaps there is a key up the road that would unlock the gate.
That's annoying. So they did change it. That is really bad, actually. What used to be is when you'd finish the dungeon a single time, you could literally just run straight through until the very end. Oh, that's sad. I don't know, maybe it was a glitch, but it was a glitch that was around for like years in that case. Which, if anything, just makes it more difficult. Oh, whatever. Let's just do our best here. Just toss up another blade, and then we can easily kill with the Hydra. Alright, let's see it. Let's see that big damage numbers. Oh. Thankfully it won't do much.
You have gotten the key from him.
Oh, cool. I did get a ring, so that's something. Though, no samurai spell. Yeah, that does slow down things quite a bit. If we have to actually go through the entirety of the dungeon again just to be able to do this, that's not cool. It was useful because before, a lot of the time what you would do, yeah, so you used to be able to just, you'd be walking in, and then you would just walk in and the thing would move automatically. Same thing with over this thing. You used to be able to just walk, and then the gate thing wouldn't even stop you. It does now though. Hello, welcome back, Forgotten Dark 5. Let's see. Okay, cool. I see you've returned. Indeed I have. It's time to finally get that level 48 AoE, and also continue a little bit with Dragonspire. But first things first, this takes priority. Please. There we go. Finally. Okay. Yes, I have returned. And it's nice to see you return too. Yeah, I forgot your name looked familiar, but I couldn't quite remember where, and then I remembered it was from Cherry's stream. Speaking of, might as well. Not sure anyone else is going to actually see that, but, you know, still. She plays Wizard101 occasionally too. Always nice to support the other ones, and she also makes some pretty good stuff otherwise. Although she was very upset earlier when I was leaving. Hopefully things turned out a little bit better. Anyways, we just need to beat this guy up all over again. Shouldn't be too hard. I don't pay attention to many people in Cherry stream for some reason. People that are cool. Yeah, they seem alright. I just don't have much time for hanging out with a lot of different streamers anymore. Especially when I have my own stuff to do now. But yeah, it was nice hanging out on the Minecraft server for a little bit. But I only have time to play one children's game, or devote most of it to one. And that game has to be Wizard101. It's unfortunate, but that's just how things played out in my life. Maybe things might have turned out different. Yeah. Let's see, this didn't kill. Wizard101 is the only children's game that everyone needs to play, let's be honest. I think the Pirate 101 fans would disagree with you, but yes, I agree. Wizard101 is actually worth the $10 a month, since you can basically beat the entire game in a month and it's got a lot of content in there. Art 101 is okay. Yeah, I played it for a couple of days for the 12 days of the spiral that were free. And personally, it just didn't quite capture the feel, but it was alright for what it was. It was a neat novelty, but once the novelty wore off, it just didn't really have the same magic as Wizard101. Joke not intended.
Defeated, Hideyoshi crumples to the ground and fades. A demon emerges from his still form. It is the Plague Oni.
You played it for a month, but you can't play much? Yeah, I only played it for a couple of days, actually. Because I didn't want to too much time in doing this. This playthrough is going to take too long anyways, I think. So I didn't want to put it off for too long. But yeah, it was alright for what it was. But yeah, I agree that Wizard101 has more than enough for me to do. And I can always make time for it too. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a very simple game. Maybe it's just because I'm super used to it. But I think Wizard101 is actually super easy to just pick up and play whenever you feel like. Although the grinding can get pretty ridiculous, that's my only complaint. Honestly, you'd rather pirate if it had more content? Oh yeah. I've heard similar stuff. People saying pirate is better. After a certain point though, I kind of was getting a bit tired of the combat, mainly because it just felt like it was taking too long. I'm used to the fast snappiness that Wizard101 has. Having to plan out every move was a little bit more intensive, and it also had some more RNG involved with the evades and counters, and sometimes they would happen, sometimes they wouldn't, and so that could really make the turns start to drag out too. I don't know, maybe I should just do a straight up actual review of it and save my feelings there. But like I said before, it was alright for what it was. One turn in Pirate can turn into one fight in Wiz, for real. That was what I was realizing whenever I started getting those item cards that let me dodge and add counters and stuff like that. I started getting nuts with how long things were starting to take. And that combined with the having to sail between different sections of the map was getting a bit weird. So I was like, yeah, this game is starting to like put me to sleep whenever I start trying to play it. Late game, Bonnie Ann attacks so many times in one attack at some. I was already doing like 3, but I figured there'd be like a hard limit to that. Where they could do it to like 3, and then they could also do like up to 2 counters, it seemed like. Does it just never stop stacking more attacks on it in the game?
The Harmonious Crystal suddenly glows with a sickly gray, then shines white again. Eventually, the 2 colors balance.
It feels like that? Weird. I wouldn't have expected the game to continue doing that throughout the entire way. You're back, need to get your charger? Understandable. Yeah, don't want your phone to die. Or laptop. Whichever one. Let's see. Alright, Alha's red. This guy. Forgot to place down a mark. I'm actually curious if there is a tapestry to the balance school. I feel like there might be, but I've never even bothered looking. Would he sell it? I feel like if anybody would, it would be Niles. Alright, what's the deal, Oswald?
Let's see what you've got there. It looks as if the Harmonious Crystal has harmonized the purity of the crystal with the disease from the Plague Oni. halfway through with the process, young wizard. Are you getting impatient? That's not good at all. In our school, we seek a balance between effort and reward. And the size of this reward means that your effort must be equivalent.
And you're back with your phone charger? Welcome back.
This next task, though, is an easy one. Go to the ring merchant of Marleybone, a fellow by the name of Jared Banks. Ask him to mount the Harmonious Crystal in the golden casing. Something worthy of its value and magical significance. Come back here when you've got that done.
Okay, now Ellsworth keeps talking up the spell, but before the spell audit, this thing was absolute trash. Also, even afterwards, it's basically just a worse Orthrus, which is its own thing. Right, Marleybone. Yeah, I'm never going to get used to that. Wait a minute. A side quest? Oh, right, Buckingham Palace. I almost forgot that existed. Again. Yeah, before the spell audit, the thing was that you love hearing sirens going off because such high-speed winds. Sirens the spell? I actually haven't seen that being cast so much lately. I kind of forgot what it sounded like.
Oh my, that's the most impressive piece of crystal I've seen since that young clerk from Kent brought in a green one some time ago. You want a casing for that? I've got just the setting for you. Oh, don't worry, no charge. I enjoy working on projects like this one. Just a moment.
Sounds going off everywhere. Wait a minute. High speed winds, sirens, tornado. That's what I was about to say. Wait a minute. Doesn't that mean there's a tornado siren?
Mr.
Are you
Banks
okay?
takes
You're
the
gone dark.
Harmonious Crystal
You gonna be
and
alright?
sets it into a beautiful gleaming casing of yellow gold.
Aren't you supposed to like hide in a bathtub or like a storm cellar or something? I don't know. I've never lived in an area with it. No tornadoes?
There you go.
Oh, it's just like a test?
real piece of artwork, the combination of that crystal and setting. Be careful with it. You don't want to damage such a priceless object.
Just high speed winds. Weird. I've never lived in a super windy area. I've only lived in a place, but I was kind of wondering if it might be an alarm thing. Because I used to live in a area where there was actually a nuclear plant nearby, and they would do meltdown warning sirens. They would just set them off every couple of months. And they'd have like trucks drive around and use this like gigantic, like super loud warning thing saying like, this is just a test. It was very distracting. You're in Iowa and the winds can reach really high speeds. That confuses me. I mean, I've seen like hurricanes and stuff before. That's like a whole thing. There's like wind and rain. Just the idea of like dry wind, like being super fast, is outside of my understanding.
Let me see that, young
But I'm
wizard.
glad you're not in any immediate danger then.
Ooh, Banks has outdone himself this time. It's his finest work. 1 in a million. Now it's time for you to make an offering to the forces of balance. Take that priceless harmonious crystal in the gold casing to the Krampus. Be careful not to break it on the way, young wizard. It's worth more than you can imagine.
You had a deratio last year? Or this year? I have no idea what that is. I'll look it up really fast. Not deratio. Now, it's spelled Derecho. Is a widespread, long-lived, straight-line windstorm that's associated with fast-moving group of severe thunderstorms since its mesoscale convective system. Huh. Interesting. There's a little graph on the Wikipedia page too. Yeah, that sounds intense based on the little diagram. It says it can cause actual tornadoes, hurricanes, or just the winds for it, and flash floods. I feel like that's not something you should forget when it happened, but you know, then again, it's your life, I guess. Maybe you're just used to it.
Sphinx, you must throw the harmonious crystal against the foot of the Krampus Sphinx itself. Yes, smash it into bits.
And I sat outside what was going on because I didn't really notice. If you didn't notice it, that sounds like it's way less impressive than actual. I thought it was a normal thunderstorm. Interesting.
Why would you destroy such a thing? Everything is about balance, young wizard. To learn such a mighty spell, you must sacrifice something of great worth.
I'm not sure that makes sense from a balance perspective, but you know what? Whatever you say, Alice Red, you're the boss. Or the teacher. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I'm trying to picture it in my head, but I have no idea what that actually looks like.
You heft the priceless Harmonious Crystal and hurl it at the Crocus Sphinx's big stone paw. It shatters into a bazillion pieces.
It's destructive, but it was an area that was hit. Oh, that wasn't hit so bad? Yeah. Oh. Hello.
Wizard of Balance. Your offering has been judged as equal in value to that which you seek.
The waifu is here.
Go now to our servant, your teacher Al-Hazred, and he will teach you this mighty spell. Use it wisely.
It's just Orthrus but worse, but okay. But yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Still. It's weird that you could just confuse it for a normal thunderstorm. Weather is weird.
It certainly took you a while. I wondered if you'd gotten lost.
Power Nova isn't that bad. Yeah, I'm hating on it, but that's mostly just because I find it funny that the dialogue was written when it was like 470 damage with a weakness, I think, which was not good. Like, it really wasn't that good at all, because you could easily outdamage it with 2 sandstorms. Like, and it was more pip effective than that. Than it. Granted, they buffed it now, so it's like 640, I think. But yeah, it's more useful now, but still, nothing can compare to Orthrus after the buff. I only knew it happened because my phone told me something was happening.
Excellent work, young wizard.
That sounds about right.
Certainly earn this Power Nova spell. Use it to serve the forces of balance whenever it is cast.
Oh wait, they buffed it even further. I thought it was like 640. It's 665. Nice, it's 665. They really had to do it. Oh, that's classy, nice. They couldn't just buff it up one more power point. Orthrus is nice. Now, Orthrus is a god. But yes, only 4 damage off of 669. That's true. They could have done that too. They could have done many things, but they didn't. Still, that's 25 higher than I was actually expecting it to be, so that means it actually way out damages this piece of trash. Let's just get rid of that thing out of our deck. And let's just move on. But yeah, Orthrus, I loved everything about the myth changes that they did with the spell audit, personally. I know some people were upset about like Mystic Colossus, and like a very minute section of like PvP people were upset about Orthrus being changed from a double hit. But I was a big fan. My only complaint is, which has nothing to do with the spell itself, but it kind of spelled the end of Mythgang, which if you weren't around for that, was like a 2-year, it's like, yeah, it was like 2 years ago. There was this meme about Mythgang, and there was a Discord for it and everything. And it was the best, it was one of the best times of my life. And because Orthrus is so overpowered now, we have no reason to use Lord Humongafrog. And when the Lord Humongafrog worship was gone, so too was Mythgang. It was kind of built on a castle of sand or whatever. A pile of sand. Except with the King Artorias nerf, I heard they nerfed it again. But I'm not sure if they actually went through with it on Live Realm yet. There's a bounce out of me, which means we actually have to bring this back out. King Artorias. I'm not sure how they changed that again, if any. Because I did like how they changed it. With the spell on it, I thought they had balanced the damage out pretty well. All things considered. It was doing a pretty decent amount of overtime damage, and it was super situational, but removing the shield and then doing an overtime made it super powerful. against like one boss specifically. 945 fifth detonate. Oh, that's right. They made it a detonate. Yeah, that's really bad. -1 positive war on target, +10 med pierce. Didn't they make it so that it would give you the pierce and then the -1? Oh yeah, because then it would do the detonate. That's right. Yeah. I'm not sure why they made it a detonate. I'm not sure why they'd make anything a detonate. That was like a fire gimmick. And even then it was like only one spell for fire. But yeah, that pretty much makes it going from being like the only really decent overtime that Myth had, because Basilisk isn't that good for how many pips it costs, to being pretty much useless in any sense outside of PvP again. Because I did find some use for the King Artorias against people who used like shadow spells. Not shadow spells, Shadow Summoner. I found some usage for the overtime there. Yeah, they made it detonate because the PvP community complained about King Art. Yeah, King's Eye will always say that they don't do everything because of the PvP community, but it's pretty clear when they do. Yeah. I'm not sure what the point of making it a detonate would be, though. Because again, that's like Fire's thing, if anything. And I'm not sure. I can't mention King Art was... No, I guess... PvP is weird because it has different, like, kinds of battles. They have the speed rounds, and they have, like, the long form tournaments, and they have the co-op. I guess it varies. Anyways, let's see how much this does. 840. 840 base is super good, actually. Yeah, I don't know. King Artorias' usage was already, like, super limited, even in PvE. But now it's, like, completely useless at this point. Alright, let's see the big damage. Come on. $1485, not bad. Happy with the enchant ban on shadow spells? They banned enchants on shadow spells for PvP? Interesting. I thought they removed enchants entirely from PvP though. And they replaced it with the Power Surge or something. Which is that like new spell where it's like based on the amount of pips that it costs. That was my understanding. There are 7 enchants you could still use? Interesting. Yeah, I never really touched PvP personally. For me, it was just a roadblock between me and crafting because King's Eye was being weird about it. So I needed my participation trophies. And so eventually I learned that you could just AFK tournaments, and that was the most I ever touched PvP. You hate PvP? Yeah. Say pretty much. Do PvP like once a month? I don't think I've touched it since like I crafted that, so that would have been like what, a year ago at this point? I never felt compelled to touch it after that point. Because there's not really much of a point to it. I mean, you get arena tickets which give you access to some redeems you can use. But it's not even like exceptionally good, I wouldn't say. Because if you want powerful, because it doesn't really give you access to good gear. It doesn't really give you access to anything. It just gives you access to the rankings. And since I don't really care about the rankings, I spend most of my time just grinding gold or some other thing. Or pieces of gear, because there's always something to grind. See, I've never felt compelled to go back and try it out after that. But hearing about the changes from a distance is always interesting.
Is that you? Have you come for me? It's so cold here, so dark. I'm so alone. You're not my Malister.
What have you done to him? I won't harm him. You'll never get me to betray my beloved husband.
Also, he somehow turned her into this, but we'll ignore that. Remember, Red, there's a somewhat decent pet? Maybe? I feel like I have an idea of what that is, but I can't remember it either, really. No, I don't think there is a pet specifically for PvP. Yeah, I was checking at the same time too. But yeah, if you can look it up, that'd be nice. I'll just focus on the fight them. Discard that, draw, chant, blade. We also will need a feint, at least to kill. Oh, that's right. There's a pet that requires a PvP rank to use. Weird. That's really weird. But I guess it makes sense. I also just remembered that's also the only way to get the good fishing gear, too. So I also grabbed that. So that's like one of the only other reasons to do PvP. I just did it all at once, though. There are a few. I don't think I've ever actually seen them in practice, but I believe it.
You capture Sylvia's spirit within the knowledge crystal.
I feel like I may have seen it on someone in the comments at some point,
As you
though.
trap her spirit, a strange badge falls to the ground.
They were never using PvP, let's be honest.
Her wraith-like form takes on solidity and color. Soon, Sylvia Drake appears as she did while alive.
I mean, that's kind of the issue with having pets with stats, is that there's only going to be so many viable ones, depending on what the meta is at the time. Yeah, but it's kind of funny that the PvP pets aren't actually even good in PvP. $900 tickets for the best fishing gear? Yep. That's that, and the participation trophies is... That participation trophies and the energy, not energy, universal resist jewels, those are what I do. Yeah, 24 fishing luck and a lot of energy. I have the full set on another character.
A wraith? I'm shocked. I could never imagine you would do that to her.
Though Cyrus seems almost at a loss for words, he quickly takes the knowledge crystal from you.
Yeah, the universal crit block or the universal flat resist gear especially. Flat resist jewels help a lot, actually. And those are also easy to get.
This was not my preferred choice, but it may yet prove useful. You've done well.
So here's a good tip for anybody in the future listening to this. If you ever want to have access to really good stuff right off the bat, just go into a tournament. Wait the hour it's going to take, because that's how long they take for some reason. And then just make sure you don't get logged out. And then whenever you're in the tournament, just leave. Just leave and just wait. Wait like 10-15 minutes, and before you know it, you'll have enough arena tickets to buy something. Anything. No effort required. No studying. No effort. It's easy.
You found a badge when you trapped her spirits? Ah, this explains a few things.
Highly recommend that you don't even need to talk to people in PvP. Which is probably the worst part about it.
Here, let me see that badge.
Cyrus whispers a spell and passes his wand over the badge, then hands it back to you.
Now the ring facility should function normally for you. I've discovered something more significant about Dragonspire. Within the Innermost ring is an academy, and only students of the Dragonspire Academy may enter that ring.
That's actually a really neat Tails emote. Although I have to wonder if that's sort of gonna cause copyright issues in the future for somebody. I'm gonna have to use the excuse that it's not Tails, it's Bales.
Go now to the Necropolis and see if you can discover a means of becoming a student of Dragonspire Academy. Think of it as a student exchange.
Okay, there has to be a side quest around here. You felt your place wobble a moment because of the wind? I feel like that's probably not a good sign. But, you know what? I'm sure that if it was just like a wobble, it might not be that big of a deal. But you know, if things start like falling off the walls or something, please, find a safer space to stay in. Okay. Well, there's nothing here right now in here, so we just need to talk to her.
Welcome to Dragonspire Academy. I see you wear the prospective badge. Congratulations for taking the first steps to become a student at Dragonspire Academy.
You have your bathroom right next to you, which has 0 glass. Okay, that's good.
To begin your trial of admittance to the Innermost ring, you should visit the Dragon Master in the hatchery and learn all that you can about drakes.
Yeah, do your best not to die, please. For your own sake. More than anything. Random. What are her stats? Oof. Wait, one critical block. Where is that coming from? Okay, Oni Blade, Arctic Dagger, and that thing. What the? Oh no. 1 accuracy, 1 resist, 1 crit block. Kembalung? You know what, actually? An interesting choice. But yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. This is why I like to check out random stats. They occasionally have some real winners. And by winners, you have that pet? Oh yeah, I think I have the pet itself, but I was more so looking at the stats. Like, yeah, I think I have this one too. The Frosty Crocker money? Yeah, I think I got it from Raw at some point. Still, 1 critical block, 1 universal resist, 1 accuracy. Sometimes I see people's stats and I wonder how they've actually managed to get so far in the game. You have a Scorpion? I wonder what the rarest pet I have is. Oh, you have a Scorpion as a real life pet? Or Wizard101? Wizard101, I'm actually not sure what the rarest pet I have is. I actually need to check. Because I think I actually do have some rare ones. But yeah, Wiz? Interesting. Yeah, Scorpion pet is just like a basic one though. You can get it from fishing, right? Used to have a Scorpion pet in real life. Scorpions... Imagine you'd have to like remove the stinger though, right? Or something like that. And even if you did, I'm not entirely sure how you would do that. I'm not too familiar with their anatomy. That is interesting though.
Who are you? You're clearly not part of the Titan army.
You don't need to? Interesting.
Oh, you're still here? You probably want to get powerful in a hurry, just like the others. Well, guess what? The Titan army destroyed everything and took all the books about the ways of the Drake. I can't teach you much without my books, can I? If only some of them still existed. How about this? If you go and defeat the Titan army, you can recover those stolen books, bring them back, and I'll teach you the ways of the Drake.
Might be able to, but it's not needed. They tend to not attack or go near you after a bit because they're smart. That makes sense. But I was also thinking that if you ever like got too close to it, I wasn't sure if the stinger could actually affect you if you accidentally like hit it by accident. But then again, yeah, I guess it makes sense if they just avoid you entirely and learn the hand that feeds them. Yeah, that makes sense. It can mess you up, I imagine. That sounds very spooky. That's spooky. Very concerning. I would definitely keep my guard up around that. Alright, now we get to talk to Sunbrand. The last Drake. This is a nice little quest line if I'm remembering it correctly.
Please, help me, young wizard. My brother and sister Drakes have been enslaved by evil creatures. Their cries echo throughout these halls and haunt me, though I cannot face the enemy on my own.
Oh, cool. Got the same enemies. Or almost the same enemies. You have a lot of random pets? Neat. I didn't know Io was such a good source of these. The rarest pet you've gotten as a drop would be the Halloween pet nightmare. I would have to check my main, but I think I might actually have a pet from really early on in the game on this account somewhere. And it might be super... Oh, okay. Thanks Magma Man. And I think it's possible that some of them might have been discontinued after a certain point, so I might have like some first generation discontinued pets somewhere lying around. Similar to, I used to have the Selena Gomez shirt at some point, but I don't know what happened to it anymore. You lost your original account, which have a discontinued pet. I knew somebody who lost the Valor sword, which is very sad for them. That sword's actually pretty nice for stitching. Yeah, I also knew somebody who accidentally used all of their very rare discontinued TCs also. There's so much discontinued stuff in this game. It's hard to know the value of this stuff when you're like not paying attention and just playing it casually. Yeah, I think I might have something that's just continued lying around somewhere. Okay, come on. Get those steps in. Alright, there. Perfect. Still gonna have to do 3 battles because that Magma Man stuffed him. Probably doing some real damage though with Power Nova, which is great. Because I was getting a little bit tired of Sandstorm needing to be used like 2 different times individually to do most battles. Also, when I think of the rarest pet, I'm not thinking like a pack opened. Yeah, I'm thinking rarest pet would probably be... Yeah, probably it would have to be some kind of first generation pet that was dropped before pets even had stats or something, and before they got re-updated with them. If you can have one of those lying around, even though they probably have stats now, that would probably be the rarest kind. If there's like a specific one. Because if you go on like the deep depths of the Wizard101 Central Wiki, you can actually see a bunch of pets that don't have any way of obtaining them now. And I'm pretty sure I have to have at least one. I think most people might if your account is like older than 10 years. I think this account is like maybe the full 13 actually. Oldest this account would be is like 2009. If we're going to talk about the rarest pet from pack opened, I still have not gotten my primeval pets or my wand from that. The game still refuses to hand them over to me. So I'm willing to say that some pack pets are probably just impossible to obtain. I refuse to believe otherwise.
Done it. With the slavers dealt with, most of my kin will be able to free themselves. Thank you for all your help.
Your first account is from the first year Visible One. I believe this account is too.
Though you have done much to help me, Wizard, some of my kin are still unaccounted for.
Actually, I can check right now. Thankfully, the website lets you see that. Okay, so this account might not be the oldest one. Okay, so Visible One came out on September 2nd, 2008. This account was made March 26, 2009. Which would make sense, because I think it was made with the commercials.
Though others are missing, I am most worried about my brother, Farinor. Can you seek his spirit inside Skythorn Tower?
Wizard101 used to have commercials. It used to be like a big thing. It's so weird to think about how like obscure it's got over time. First couple months of the game being out? Yeah, this would be September, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, so this account was made 6 months after the game came out. 6 months and a week. So there has to be something good on it. Just hidden away in the bank or something. Nice. Yeah. Lost in the bank. Somewhere. Maybe. If it's anywhere, it's gotta be in there. On one of the accounts. Never to be seen again. Yep. This has all of the character slots filled up. So.
Break your bones with fists like stone.
This account is so old that a lot of the times the characters have even been deleted. So it's entirely possible that like there were some in banks that have just been lost just because we deleted the characters and didn't even pay attention. That's a sad thing. Yeah, if there's anything good, it's gonna be in one of the bank sections on one of these characters. Or in a house, potentially, now that I think about it. It's entirely possible the rarest pet we have is hidden away in some house. Just like running around in some random back corner. Some little dark gutter in the back of like the myth house or something. That's entirely feasible. I still worship Lord Humongous Frog. I do in secret as well. We've lost a lot of members. But, you know, we still live on in spirit. Myth Gang will rise against something. It's a shame though, because no matter how powerful, we are a dying breed, indeed. I'm glad I got to attend that last Myth Gang party though. It might have been the last one, but it was one of them. I was part of the Myth Gang Discord. I was so sad whenever I saw it was just gone one day. I was actually like, oh. I actually felt something. Yeah, like I said before, with Orthrus, there's just not really room for Lord Humongous Frog anymore. And they replaced the moon with Orthrus' old one, so I think we can all go back to worshipping that weird moon again. The frog cult will have to remain hidden for the time being until some new update comes out. Nice.
You have my gratitude. Such
Nice.
bravery is unexpected in one so young, but welcome nonetheless. I am free now. Free at last.
You still use frog when you're chilling with low levels? I actually never managed to read that good of a wandering eye pet, so mine was never actually all that helpful, things considered. When I was a max, I only ever used my enigmatic culture, I think it's called. I think it's the enigmatic one. Yeah, that is a good idea, actually. Getting a better wandering guy. Unfortunately, I have to restart the entire thing, because I made that character way before the spell audit and critical changes happened. So now critical on a pet is completely useless, pretty much. Especially myth critical. Because my character used to have 100% crit, but now since you pretty much have 95% chance no matter what, I have to find some sort of way to replace it with 5 damage talents. Or 3 damage and resist. Lord Humongous Frog is classy though.
I sensed Faranor's spirit as it was set free. His wings spread wide to take him home.
You know, you're a real Chad for using the classics.
You have done much for the Drakes, and proven yourself a true friend to our kind.
Over being a meta slave like me.
Wizard, it is apparent that the leader of the slavers cast a spell of enthrallment upon my Drake kin.
Think your light just flickered?
The rest of those missing Drakes are likely being held and enthralled somewhere. Perhaps at the source of this dark charm.
Thankfully, that in and of itself isn't too big of a deal, because that more likely just means that the power lines are being shaken. So that's nice.
I plead with you to learn the secret behind this grim enchantment, and do what you can to break it.
Yeah, you know, you could say a lot of vague stuff that might be scary. But I have to deal with storms a lot too, and sometimes my power flickers at times when it's just like raining, because the power lines just can't handle rain for some reason. Despite the fact that it rains nonstop. Yeah. Don't worry, you're probably not in any danger. And if you are, I'm sure you know what to do. I trust you to take care of yourself. Anyways. Let us. If I'm in danger, you'll be fine. I believe in you. Yeah, I believe in you.
Mind all full of mud. What to do? No answer. What? Smash is the answer. Smash!
Mind all full of mud? Okay, sure man, you know, you do you. I know how to run to your breaker before something goes wrong. Well, in that case, you're already better than me. If something goes wrong, I'd spend too many minutes being confused about whether or not something was actually wrong to do anything. So, you're already better off than I am. Okay, we'll just throw down item card feint, I guess. So let's discard that. On the hard way, that power goes out, breaker goes off before you worry about anything else. Interesting. Because you don't need a power surge when you get power again. That's a good idea, actually. Thankfully the power doesn't go out too long.
You find a charm bracelet on the giant homunculus.
And unfortunately, whenever the power does go out, it usually only goes out for like a second, and it's way too slow to do anything.
This tome is titled The Great Council of Wizards, Warriors, and King.
I actually had a power surge that caused my Wi-Fi chip in my computer to break, unfortunately. I actually have to use a little USB dongle, so not only am I streaming over Wi-Fi, I'm streaming over Wi-Fi going through a USB antenna. And when your power goes out, it goes out for a few days. Wow.
As more wizards and warriors graduated from the academy, their political power grew in Dragonspire.
Yeah, when mine happens, it usually happens for like up to a minute at a time, and then just gets right back on.
One of their number, Alderred, used his knowledge to unseat the king.
I think it might be because it's also super easy for it to go out in the first place.
His rule was without mercy, and he was despised by his subjects. The wizards and warriors of Dragonspire united against Alderred and threw him down from his place of power.
Like, it goes out easily, and then it also gets dealt with easily. So it kind of handles itself at times.
On that day 4th, Dragonspire was ruled jointly by the Council of Wizards, Warriors, and King.
The ratio, for example, the pout was out for almost a week. Wow. That's surprising, actually. Because I would figure that, and that if that's the case, the power lines would have to be built a little bit better. Then a power switch to active power again. So you'd have to have like generators or something, like in your house, ready to be activated whenever. Or do you guys just have to live without power for a week and just kind of kick sand whenever, like, all the food in your fridge spoiled or something? You have 2 generators? Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's smart.
What's this? How strange. It's a Dragonspire Academy bracelet. The owner's name should be engraved on the inside. The name Ivan Soulsinger is etched on the back of the charm bracelet? That can't be. Did you read it right? Ivan Soulsinger has always been a friend to the Drakes. He once fed me ambrosia. Why would he? Wizard, you must discover the source of this madness. Visit Ivan Soulsinger at Flamewind Tower and discover the truth about this matter.
Why is it just some kid? Like, it's actually just like some normal wizard kid. One in case your brother needs it and the other was for you. Ah, yeah. That is smart. See, you are prepared. So that's good. Still, it's surprising your power's out for an entire week. It's just because it takes people a long time to get out there to fix it. You powered your fridge and your TV plus 2 chargers. That's good. Still, it sounds like you're... Yeah, it took way too long. Yeah, I figured. If anything, that would be the case. That just takes a long time to get repaired. Down here, whenever things go bad, repair people are usually pretty on it pretty fast. The TV was just because you had company. Oh, right. Yeah, I was actually about to ask, so... Your TV plus 2 chargers. So just go without internet and just use TV? Otherwise you wouldn't care about the TV? Yeah, me neither. So did you have to go without internet for a week, or what was the deal with that?
The flesh is weak, young wizard.
That sounds terrifying.
When I've
and
taken
horrible.
residence in your body, I'll take good care of it. I'll even come to visit you now and again.
This is actually just like some kid. I completely forgot this was even in the game. Didn't have internet for a week. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Personally. Just because look at me. Look at me. I literally can't exist without the internet. If the internet is gone, I just go oof, like that. I just disappear. You know, that's me without internet. So, having company over to watch TV with, I guess living the classic life like that doesn't sound too bad. I said classic, but that was only like, what? That would have been normal like 13 years ago. I'd say. 2010 really did change everything like that. Or it started to be more popular to be on computers. There wasn't much you could watch, but still. If you had access to a cable box, I'm not sure. But yeah, if you didn't, that'd be like what, like PBS or something? You'd have a PBS, the news, what other public access channels are there? You had a cable box? Oh, okay. Yeah. Because imagine being stuck without the internet for a week, and then also not having access to anything outside of public access channels. Just living life like it was the 1960s or something. That sounds like it'd be awful. You only watched your 500 movies? Oh, you too, huh? You also have like 500 movies saved up? Yeah. My family has giant cases full of movies. Like
Young
several
wizard,
hundred of them.
You have ended our captivity. Our freedom is at last at hand.
Possibly
Let us fly, my
over
brothers and
1,000
sisters,
actually.
away from this dark place.
Yeah, with the DVD player and that, you could potentially stay entertained forever if you have enough of those. So again, nice and prepared. You have way too many movies. Same. So I think we actually have like a case of nothing but like pirated DVDs. There's like regular blank DVDs that were just had the movies copied onto them the good old fashioned way. And there's like a case with like at least like 150 of those alone. And there's also just the cases upon cases of just like full of nothing but like actual boxes of DVDs. See, I have no idea how many. And then that's not even including the VHSs, even though we don't even have a VHS player anymore. You know, that's a good question. The better question isn't what the rarest pet in Wizard101 is. The better question is, what's the rarest movie? If you have a movie collection like that, what's the rarest and oldest one in there? You had at least 100 bottles of liquor before the derecho, and then less than 20 after the damage where it was at least. Oof. I mean, that sounds like a good time either way, right? But still. I think at that point, the biggest danger isn't the storm itself, it's drinking yourself to death at that point. Has he had a lot of people around? Huh. So what, just have like a week of just non-stop laying around the TV drinking like a non-stop house party, but potentially not as excited? Without context, this is a very interesting thing to picture.
I sense that the spirits of my kin are at peace. You have set them free from their enthrallment.
Although, even with context, it's probably just something more mundane. Is you and like 10 others being alcoholics?
You are a true friend to the Drakes, unlike our false ally, Ivan Soulsinger. Thank you once more, Wizard.
10 others. That's a lot. For a whole week, too. Was it like your entire family? Or was it a bunch of friends? I'm not going to actually pry into too much, actually. Don't even bother answering that. But still, that is an interesting situation. That sounds like it would be one heck of a story if you can actually come up with one. You should tell that. Eventually. To someone else, in real life, at like a bar or something. I shouldn't have drank so much before this stream just started. I will actually be right back after this battle. Just like a quick 1 to 2 minute thing. This is the community of where I live, getting to them being friends. Oh yeah, I used to have something like that. Nothing special. Okay. Yeah. I mean, without context, though, you could make that story way more interesting, like I said. But still, yeah. I used to have a similar thing where the neighborhood I used to live in would hang out together. But that was only because it was a neighborhood that kind of grew up together. Nowadays, though, after everyone moved away, you know, it's not really something that happens, I don't think, much anymore. Still, sounds like a good time. Just 10 other people being as much of an alcoholic as you are, if not more, so nobody's judging you. You know, that's the hardest part about drinking a lot, is that other people are gonna be like, oh no, you're drinking too much. But if everyone's drinking, then it's fine. Special parts of where you weren't drinking what the others were doing. That sounds interesting. Yeah, I will be right back really quickly, just like 1 to 2 minutes. I am back. Hello, hello. I am back. Yes. Okay, hold on. There we go. Fine. Yes, thank you. Glad to be back. Oh, oh, come on. Hold on a second. You know what? No, we're not even gonna let that happen. Not wasting all this time. Gonna be efficient. Oh, no, come on. Please, please, please. I just want 2 drakes. Okay, where are they? Bear through it. I refuse. I refuse. I'll just cheat. I'll just exploit the fact that this still exists in the game, and it has existed forever. Because, you know, that's the whole point of the drop rates being buffed for these things. You know, if it was still, like, back when it took you, like, 5 battles to get even one of these, it would be worth it, maybe. I might go play on your fire. Alright. Yeah, I actually have a fire that I was gonna make eventually, but I'll have to save that for after I'm done with this character. Maybe get to level 50 tonight. That's very ambitious, depending on where you are in the game. Yeah. I don't know if that means that you're gonna be living stream, or if you can be like listening into the background. Either way, have a good time. Level 22. Now hold on a second, how are you intending to get to level 50? It's not that bad. I mean, you're gonna have, because for me it's already 10. So if you're talking about tonight in reference to that, yeah, I'd be like, what? You're gonna try to hit, you'd have to be going from like Architopia all the way through Dragonspire in 3 hours? Yeah, in 3 hours, in order for it to still qualify as tonight. Even with like a bunch of max levels carrying you, that still sounds like one heck of a challenge. Side quests exist. I think it's possible to... I think it would be possible to go from like level 22 to like level 40 maybe with help, but 50 seems outside of what I've been used to. Also tonight, for me, lasts till 4 AM. Nice. Relatable. But I like to pretend I go to sleep at midnight at the latest. But yeah. I'm not sure if that means you can leave, but whatever that means, you better get started on it. So, yeah, have a good time with that. And good luck, you're gonna need it. Getting it, but yeah, if you have like 3 plus, yeah, so 7 hours. Yeah, if you have all that time to burn on it, then yeah, I guess with a bunch of max levels helping you out. Or if you're just really putting your nose to the grindstone, should be possible. I'll be here until you end stream. Yeah, honestly, I'm not entirely sure how long I'm gonna be going. Yeah, if you want to just like do it in the background, that's fine too. Yeah, just like lurking. I appreciate it either way. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how long I'm going to be going.
It looks like you found some of the books. Apparently the Titan army isn't as tough as they seemed. You didn't get all of the books though. These only cover the behavior and temperament of drakes.
Maybe until I get to the actual academy itself.
Dragons are violent and dangerous, and drakes will be friendly if treated well. Everyone knows that.
My goal is to finish Dragonspire by the end of this week, so I'd say I'm already almost about halfway there.
You're still eager to learn? You're certainly nothing like my past students. If only we had more books. Wait a moment. I have an idea. Throughout the hatchery are statues of the greatest drakes from our history.
So not in too much of a rush to make a lot of progress tonight.
Go to see each of the drake statues and read the inscriptions on the pedestals. These tell about their history. You can come back and tell me what you've learned.
Actually, I'm kind of curious about that. You watching a stream on your phone, so you'll be chatting throughout you're playing Gwiz? Ah, yeah, I threw that all out there. Well, good, then you'll still be here. Yeah, have fun focusing on that. So, add to statue. Okay, so I am in the Drake hatchery, I'm at number 45 out of 106. So yeah, I'm just under halfway done with the main quest of Dragonspire. I think I'd be comfortable calling it a night once we actually get done with... I don't know. You know, we'll just keep going for a bit. We'll just play it by ear, I think. That's what I normally do anyways.
Gavarina was often called the first Drake. She accepted Monet as her rider, and together they founded the Kingdom of Dragonspire.
We'll figure it out as we go. That is how I normally do things. So yeah, we'll just do that. Let's see. Are there any other side quests here? There's one of the Crucible, but not here. Yeah, we do not want to get pulled into an accidental battle. I need to keep my quest screen down.
Lenneth the Great's victory in the Outer Ring ended the 100-year Dragon War and brought peace to Dragonspire.
Now, a lot of people seem to dislike Dragonspire. I said it before and I'll say it again. I like these little lore drops here. It really gives it a lot of character. I like learning about Dragonspire. I think the catacombs, because of that, ended up being really good.
Eliana earned renown when she held off an entire legion alone and helped unseat Alderred the Usurper.
Dragonspire kind of represents the idea that, you know, Wizard City isn't the only place in the spiral that actually exists and is important. Because that is kind of the vibe you get about some places. Like Krakatopia. Man, Krakatopia is so butchered in this game. It's literally just 3 tiny little islands, a small sphinx, and a pyramid, and a small little tomb. And that's all of Krakatopia in Wizard101. And somehow it's still considered a main world.
You learned about them all? Excellent. Many who wish to become dragon riders fail to recognize they can do nothing without the drakes. So you've learned some things, but don't think you know everything. You haven't even learned about the dragon riders. Tomar Skyblade once lived in a tower just down the way, not far from here. Go to the tower and see if you can learn more about him there.
Krakatopia isn't that much, but it does contain one of the 4 big dungeons. Yeah, it does. Yeah, the Tale of 4 Dungeons quest was actually pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess. Ultimately, though, it's my only real issue with Krakatopia, is that's got an alright story. It's just so tiny. It feels weird even considering it like a world on its own, when you compare it to the likes of, I don't know, Grizzleheim or Avalon or something.
A student?
Worlds that just seem absolutely gigantic.
Learn about becoming a dragon rider. Ah, the glory and the power of riding a drake. There's nothing like it. The wind rushing past your face, the rustle of wings, and the wash of heat when they breathe fire. Always guide your drake with a firm hand, but remember always that you are partners. Don't let it go to your head.
Grizzleheim is just annoying after a while. I agree, especially when it splits off into Winter Dusk. You love the world, but Ravenscar, oh yeah. Especially the 4 ravens at once. The Jotuns were at least somewhat doable, but it seems like the ravens are just impossible at the proper level. It is so RNG reliant. But yeah. Grizzleheim, especially because it's part of Winter Dusk. I wasn't referring to like the quality of the world itself, like the experience of going through it, but just like the literal size of it. Like, Krakatopia is considered a main world, when a place like Grizzleheim makes that look like it's an actual sandbox that you're supposed to put like kids to play in.
What? He actually spoke with you? Well, I am amazed. He's never had a word to say to me. I suppose, since Tomar Skyblade actually spoke with you, it makes sense you'll want to speak with his Drake.
That's why I was really confused whenever I actually did play Pirate 101, and I saw the Krokotopia is actually supposed to be like its own place. Because when you look at it, and you just like think like, how the hell, where would these people even be living if Krokotopia is even supposed to have a society? All of Krokotopia is literally just 3 tiny little islands. Yeah, Wisteria feels like a side world. Wisteria is actually a good example of one. Because it's not even supposed to be like an entire city, like Wizard City is. It's just supposed to be like its own like school, like a campus.
The Dragon Master sighs dramatically, but you can tell he's excited.
I actually really like the way they designed Wisteria. But yeah, I do agree. It is a proper side world size. It's weird that they never made any after it.
The spirit of Kimmereth Windhammer, Tomar Skyblade's Drake, still lives on, imbued within a crystal inside another tower nearby. Go seek him out and hurry back with what you have learned.
I think the thing about Grizzleheim is I think they actually wanted to do too much with it in comparison to Wisteria, which feels like a side world. With Grizzleheim, it really seems like they were trying to make it feel like its own separate world, like adventure. Like they almost wanted to like make a Viking game, but like keep it in the Wizard101 universe. And they were just like, nah, we'll just make it like its own side thing. It's gonna be as epic as the main game, but it's like on the side, you know, which is why they split it up into so many different level locked areas. Right? Like if Wizard101 was the main story, Grizzleheim would be like the movies. Or like a side alternate universe series. But it was supposed to be just as cool as the main story. And I think that's why they did it. And they made it so big and so long and so difficult. It was supposed to be like the best of Wizard101 after you finish the main stuff at the appropriate level. Yeah, Wisteria, they really nailed it, I think. Because Grizzleheim does get annoying after a bit.
Hello, young wizard. No one has spoken with me in a very long time.
On your bet they did all of Grizzleheim at like level 60, and then you remember Winter Dusk was a thing. Yeah. I feel like that's the proper
many great
experience.
Battles with Dragon Rider Skyblade. Nothing from those times but dim memories remain. You spoke with Tomar. I have not seen him in so long. If you could, go and ask him for my reins. Having those once more would bring back the good old days.
That's the one world you know is there but you don't care for. Yeah, ultimately I'd agree. You know, because when I first played the game, I remember being so excited for it. Right? And they would be like, oh yeah, level 20, you can go to Grizzleheim and it's so cool. And then you go there and it's just kind of whatever. And it's super long and it's kind of difficult at the appropriate level. And then you're just like, you know what, whatever. And then I just left. And now every time I do it, like normally, if I even do it, what I'll do is I will just wait until like about now-ish, and then I'll just go through and just breeze through the entire world in like an hour. I forgot about Krampus Dungeon. I did too. I should probably do that for like keys or something. But that would require grinding off stream. And I do not give myself enough time for that.
Kimmereth Windhammer wants his reins. A bit odd, but understandable.
Wait a minute, Krampus Dungeon. I think that actually takes a key, right? Krampus Dungeon. I do know it's like one of the best places to get keys, though. You have no keys, so...
Unfortunately, I no longer have them. Perhaps the Dragon Master knows where they are kept now.
That's the most painful part about this game. You need keys in order to get keys, unless you're willing to just grind non-stop. And even then... I wish they would actually make it where if you spend a key, you get a key back. So that way it's at least like somewhat acceptable. Like, it doesn't even have to be like the same key. It could be like, if you do like a gold dungeon, you get like a guaranteed skeleton. Like a stone one. And if you did a stone, you get like a guaranteed wood. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you want wood, you have to do like Jade Oni. If you want stone, you have to do House of Scales. And if you want gold, you have to just do Darkmoor. Which is actually convenient because, weirdly enough, I've ended up with gold keys more often than any of the other one. Krampus takes any of them? Interesting.
Dragon Rider Skyblade and Gimrith the Drake both want my help? How can I refuse?
Yeah, it's been a really long time since I've actually done it.
Before the attack, we kept the Drake's reins in a museum. If the reins survived, the Collector would have taken them.
I do need to get stone keys though, because I do need to get a specific set of gear from Ixcac's Kirkswinged. Earthwing. Yeah, it's a yearly event. Yeah, I know. I know it's a yearly event, but normally I kind of skip it usually. Just because, in my opinion, you know, it's usually kind of whatever. I don't remember his drops being that good. I think he was mostly just used for getting more keys. So, I don't know, let me see, what does he drop? Yeah, he drops all the keys. He drops his Stitch Wand. He drops some pets. And some mounts. It's just the spell keys. He does apparently drop his wand. And he also drops the Maple Moose pet. Which is occasionally good for myth characters. If you're doing like PvP specifically. Because it gives you myth fuel. But yeah. Besides that, he doesn't really drop anything particularly good, so I normally just grind out the keys manually.
Really want to pass Drake's studies? Defeat the Collector and bring me those reins.
Yeah, I normally just run House of Scales so I can get a bunch of stone keys. I like to run Ixcax because I want to get the Turquoise Eagle set from it. Because that's actually one of the fun little tips I figured out when I was looking throughout the wiki for this build. Is that the best level 90 universal gear you can get is the Turquoise Eagle set at level 90. And Ixcax drops that for free. So it's actually a free way to get some good universal gear that you can use to save up for the Exalted Duel universal gear. Which is the best level 100 gear for a shadow character. Oh no, it's a balance. Okay. Yeah, we still have the Hydra. The Jade Oni is a somewhat decent pet. Is it? I actually got it first try on from the Jade Oni itself on this, so I was pretty surprised. But if I remember correctly, all it does is it just gives you a single item card of the Jade Oni, which isn't even like good. Because it costs way too many pips for less damage than it's worth. Unless it has another card like Adult or Mature or whatever. That I'm forgetting. Jade Oni. Let's see. Yeah, all it does is give you the Jade Oni card. Five pip balance spell. Yeah. Well, the thing about the 5 pip balance spell gives you is that it's weaker than Samurai. 430 to 510? Yeah. That's not a lot of damage for a 5 pip spell. Especially for an item card. When you have to sacrifice something like the Snappy Griffin in order to be able to use it. That was sort of what I was talking about when I first got it, actually. Because Samurai is a free lore spell you can get from that guy in the Shirotagi Temple. And I actually mentioned this before. Because it gives 460 to 540 damage. And what I like about that is because it actually means it out damages Judgment on average. For like the same amount of pips. Potentially. So it's actually better just to use that. Also, since it's an item card, you can't enchant it. See, I'm not a big fan of the Jade Oni pet. I mean, I think it looks cool. It's one of the ones that if, like, pet stitching exists, I'd probably use it. Pet I use on your fire is Nightmare, and it gives Meteor Strike with 100% cast chance and 355 to 385. Interesting. Never heard of Nightmare before, actually. Although I might have and I just forgot about it. Oh, cool. We got Shockblade of the Hoarder. That's nice. Neato. This is just, it's just a Stitch Wand, but it is kind of cool. Halloween Pet got yours as a random drop. Yeah, I was actually on my fire character. I actually realized that one of the best pets for it would either be the Velociraptor pet, I believe is what it's called, which drops from Ixcax as well, or it would have to be the normal ones, which most people recommend, which would be the Ornery Kookaburra and the Raging Bull. Yeah, I think it's still called Raging Bull. Yeah, but what I really like about the Velociraptor is that's actually a really underrated pet. Ixcax actually drops a lot of really interesting stuff, I think, for what it is, especially since it's all free. But the Velociraptor pet gives you access to... It's really good because it gives you access to a lot of traps. Most good pets for some reason are really underrated. Yeah, I think it's mostly because a lot of the pet meta depends on like PvP. Because you have something like Snappy Griffin, which is just super overpowered for a balance character, you know, with a balance blade, a feint, and this. It really makes questing on a bounce super easy, but not every school has a pet like that. Then you have the Velociraptor, who's really good for fire because it gives access to a lot of traps. So it gives you a fire trap and baby, a fuel at adult, and then it also gives you access to a fire beetle at epic. And so what I was thinking is, you could use Naphtha Scarab and then fire beetle, and that means you'd have a crap ton of traps set up for an overtime. I mean, it's a pretty gimmicky strategy, but fire has some pretty gimmicky spells, so I feel like it fits.
You found them! Those reins should go to Kimmereth Windhammer now. What are you waiting for? Go take them to the Drake.
Frankly, I'm surprised it isn't used more often. I think it's mostly because something like the Ornery Kookaburra is just too good generally. The Velociraptor lets you play fire, I think, more like how you're supposed to play them, which is using more overtimes. But I think something like... Yeah, but your pet is surprisingly good for being a seasonal pet. I'll look it up real quick, actually. Yeah, it looks like a decent pet for what it is. From a maxing perspective, though, I think it's how most people look at pets. Still, like I said before, if you enjoy using that pet, I would highly recommend just doing that. I'm too far gone. You got lucky with a Maycast unicorn? Ooh, nice. A pet like that would be helpful for decathlon. Okay, nice.
My reins, you have found them. Thank you ever so greatly. I am pleased to see those old reins as they bring back so many memories of flying with Skyblade. Now, if you could, I would like to see Skyblade himself. Please take my crystal to his tower so I can see him again.
Sure thing. I thought you were planning on questing, but it's been sitting in your house doing nothing but looking at your pets. I do a similar thing. Usually I'm just looking through my bank. Like, just taking inventory of all my things, being like, yep, it's all still there. That's how stuff on my myth usually goes. So let's see. Where's his tower? Where is he? Now, he's pretty close by. We'll just walk. What the? What the? Okay. Tiny little fence. Didn't see that. Yeah, we have until 4 AM to hit level 50. You know, not that big of a deal. Pretty easy. As far as all things are considered. Now he's over here. Right.
Dragon Rider Skyblade. It is Kimmereth Windhammer, here in this crystal. I brought your old reins. My thanks to this young wizard who made it possible.
Well met, Kimmerit Windhammer. Ah, it has been too long, and I have missed you greatly. You see, young wizard, it is never quite clear who holds the reins when you are a dragon rider. Thank you for reuniting me with my oldest, dearest friend, Kimmerith.
Oh, you have a raider pet? Oh yeah, I think I got one of those too. They're a neat little drop you can get. I've noticed. Ooh, new randoms. Okay, so we have somebody in stitch gear. Or they're using the actual pack gear. Okay, they're using the actual pack. Interesting. That one's actually a decent one. For a fire character, that's actually pretty nice. And the person on the back. What do we got? Pretty good.
You reunited them? That's amazing. You are truly a great friend to the Dragon Riders. My thanks to you. I had forgotten what it was like to have a good student, to feel like a teacher again. Tell the Crystal Guide that I hereby give you a passing grade with honors in Drake Studies.
Okay, cool. We actually managed to pass the class we didn't even know we were really taking. I still find it funny that that's how Dragonspire works. That the entire time we're here, we're just trying to get into a school that doesn't even exist anymore, so we can just get the proper paperwork done, because these ghosts are super ornery about their bureaucracy. Okay, so I guess that's Drake Hatchery though. Oh, I've actually been going for almost 2 hours at this point. That's surprising. I don't think I've been going that long. Ooh, you know what? I might actually end it here though. Let me talk to the Crystal Guide. Let me see. Let me see. What we're doing. What do we got?
Passing grade confirmed. Excellent work. Next, you must complete a course in Dragonspire history to gain acceptance into the Academy. Please report to Zanetta Stormbreaker in the Crucible to begin your lessons.
Cool. So now we're actually heading over to the Crucible. We didn't make all that much progress on Dragonspire itself, but I think I might actually end it here. Ooh, and you know what? There's actually another stream I was actually already going to watch. There's a Roblox collab happening. Yeah, because you might as well go from one children's game to another children's game, huh? Yeah, so anyways, I will actually, I guess, rate it out to that. Yeah, but thank you for joining me again, Forgotten Dark 5. Good luck with your questing. I don't know if you want to join in for the raid. Anyways, I will just send it over there and consider this thing done for tonight. I'll be streaming at the same time tomorrow and probably do another second stream. Hopefully we can finish Dragonspire by then. It'd be kind of neat if I actually finished Dragonspire in 2 days. Hey, be joining? Thanks. Great. So you'll be raiding one of my personal favorites. Another good pet you have is Crystal Butterfly. I've never heard of that one. I'll look it up really quick, actually. Oh wow, I have never heard of this one, or seen it. Oh, and it gives bounce spears, that's interesting. Oh yeah, that is interesting. I could actually see getting some use out of that for some sort of very specific gimmick builds. Yeah, where do you get that from? Where do you get it from? Oh, you get it from the Jewel Crafters bundle. Oh, so it's a pay-to-win pet, no wonder. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to consider that, because the Jewel Crafters bundle I think is actually at half price right now. Because they're doing that for the 12 Days of the Spiral. Anyways. Before I get distracted with that again. One of your friends gave it to you randomly. You can breed it with you if you want. Maybe some other time. For now, we're gonna call it a night. Yeah, in the future I might take you up on it, though. You'd be neat to have. Anyways. Thank you all very much for joining me. Oh yeah, it's time to end stream. Yeah, thank you all for joining me, and I hope you all have a very good night. I will begin the raid now, if that works. Yes. Okay, there we go. Again, it's gonna be a Roblox collab, which I think might be funny. I don't know. Anyways. Thank you all for joining me, and have a good night. I'll see you all tomorrow, I guess.